What can you do, boss? What can you do? You got something to say, you gotta say it. That's my philosophy. So yeah, we had a little bit of thunder, a little sprinkling of rain. We haven't had much for any rain this spring. And I have this huge cistern. I think it's at least 600 gallons connected to my kind of lean-to, the work area outside, connected to the roof, and it catches quite a bit of rain. And we have bled that thing dry, just mainly watering my little would-be someday field of corn. And I had to plant this weird exotic sweet red corn. I'm not even sure if it's edible. I might have to grind it somehow. A special grinder to grind that stuff into a powder, or maybe make it into, who wants to do all that work, right? I was thinking maybe turn it into tortillas, but man, that's a lot of work. If you really want to grow your own food, here's the tip, right? If you really, really want to grow your own food, you better be willing to work for it, right? Grow your own food, cook your own food. Not that I do most of the cooking, I'll admit that right now, but yeah, everything takes time, man. Just watering that row of corn, it's taken, I don't even want to know how much time out of my life. Yeah, we had some thunder earlier, and it just reminded me of this story. I'm kind of a little hypersensitive around thunder lately after reading that story. I think it was last week, out of Rand, Colorado. Some rancher just out feeding his cows. He's in a truck surrounded by the herd of cattle. You know how cows are when they know it's feeding time. They just stampede you. And the lightning actually hit him in his truck with I think it was 100 head of cattle around him. All the cattle, got knocked off their feet, and the lightning bolt killed not only the rancher, but 30 head of cattle as well. Not sure if when the last time I went through Rand, Colorado, but yeah, that's scary, man. Lightning is not to be messed with. And we get kind of comfy with it up here in the mountains because we get all these insane lightning storms. Yeah, we're probably higher risk than anybody, I think. I don't know what it is. You still have to have really bad luck, right? And prayers for that rancher. I didn't grab his name, and his family. That's bad luck. That's really bad luck. I know they say there's, I think there's a couple dozen tourists that get hit, on the Great Divide going through the park every year. That just makes sense because you're so close up there. You're so high. Altitude-wise, right? Elevation. But yeah, it's a crazy story out of Rand, Colorado. Who would have thunk, right? More and more insane weather. Tornadoes all across the country. Boz is acting like he's going to fall out the window, but I think he's good. Yeah, life is short. It's a crazy, sorry for all the noise, but I got this window open for the dog. He's got to have his fun too. He just loves hanging his big nose out the passenger side window. You gonna lay down now, Buzz? I'm sure everybody would appreciate it. It's not so bad unless I'm driving next to a rock cliff and it's a little noisy, all that noise coming off my truck. So just an update today, everybody. What's going on? I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Do you know what's going on? This world is so insane. I saw somebody put out a tweet of psychopath neocon Nikki Haley signing or writing on shells bound for Gaza, right? I think it was Rafah, that the IDF was planning on dropping these shells on. and the psychopath neocon Nikki Haley's over there writing "Finish it" or "Finish them." Don't worry, guys. Trump says she's gonna play a part in Team Trump someday. Between Nikki and was it Mitch McConnell? Which one? No. Oh man, I lose track of these inbred swamp scum. Which is the total? Yeah, the little Santa's little elf guy. What the heck is his name now? Mitch McConnell. It's not Mitch. It's not Mitch. Gosh. Okay, I'll think of it later, and I'll just dub it in. So don't worry. I'll dub in his name like I knew all along. Anyway, yeah, this guy between Nikki and this senator guy from the Republican side, these guys should get married. Find a warm place in hell together, if there was such a place as hell. Yeah, my truck's beeping again. I'm gonna shut my window because Boz is just chilling now. See, much nicer. Nikki Haley, man, and I swear sometimes it's these psychopaths that are just there to play with the dialectic, you know. After you hear one of these neocons speak, like John McKinsey, remember it? Guy was joking about bomb, Iran. So when you hear an idiot like that speak from one extreme, when they present you with a mid-ground, right? A middle ground proposition, let's say, it doesn't sound so crazy anymore, does it? I mean, it's not as bad as what Nikki Haley or John McCain want to do. So yeah, I think it's, once again, it's just this kind of a psychological effect, this kind of conditioning effect. You know, when you get used to something, acclimation, yeah, this acclimating effect on the American mind that, well, as long as you're not a psychopath as Nikki Haley, writing "Finish them" on bombs destined to likely kill more children, innocent children in Gaza. As long as you're not bad as Nikki Haley, you know, you're not so bad. You're not so bad after all. Yeah. Lindsey Graham, that's the guy. I knew it was going to come to me.
We're in a religious war here. I am with Israel. Do whatever the hell you have to do to defend yourself. Level the place.
Psychopath, Lindsey Graham. I think he's married, but, you know, they don't have any values. Come on, guys. The only reason that, like, Bill Clinton was married to Hillary was, and had a kid probably out of wedlock, was to appeal to the voters, guys. Because they're just like us. You know, if they can be faithful, I mean, if Bill Clinton can be faithful to the Wicked Witch of the West, Hillary, for that long, must be a pretty good guy, right? But in reality, they probably, you know, I think probably the only time these people see each other is in public, just for the pictures, right? Yeah, they don't give a damn about each other. They're just, the only thing that they found common ground was their lust for power, right? And that's why they shacked up. Match made in heaven. Or hell, if it were such a place, right? Anyway, yeah, it's an insane world. Man. I'm still kind of reeling from all this backlash. Now, somebody did tell me that, what's his name? Oliver, I know I forget his name because I've never heard of the guy before. Somebody did tell me on my previous video that the Libertarians ended up, you know, not of course, electing, not picking Trump or RFK Jr. as their candidate of choice. Of course, the Libertarian Party is going to pick a Libertarian. I mean, that's why they have their own party. Why would it doesn't make it's like would the Democrats ever pick a Republican for their nominee? You know, in the presidential election? No, it's never going to happen because you vote according to, and that's why parties are pretty ridiculous in my opinion. And from the get-go, you know, the two-party system pays, right? We had Trump on. Man, I swear, Tim Pool, I call him Tim Fool lately. But Tim Fool had his nose so far up Trump's hind end. I swear, I couldn't even understand half of what he said, but just the most softball puff piece of an interview by Tim Pool, because you could just tell this guy was like, I mean, you could just tell, you know, it's only the bootlickers who get ahead in politics, in Washington, or in anything, right? In anything in this world, and I guess that's why I'm not ahead, because I don't kiss ass every chance I can get. There's a few people that I'll give shout outs to, right, that I respect. Y'all know me, I've been sold on Ron Paul for 20 plus years.
And the Fed.
And Rand Paul's his son, and he's a little mini-me, so I have an affection, let's say, to the Pauls. But if they did some crazy crap one day and totally changed their tune, and started going against the principles that they once stood for, I would give a crap less about that little dynasty. Because, like the Founding Fathers said, George Washington included in his farewell address, they all warned of the dangers of party politics on our constitutional Republican form of government, right? And how getting caught on, staying loyal to this or that party. Watch this. What are you doing, guy? You're a little far from home, aren't you? Boz sees him. Boz spots him. It's right, Bozzy. It's a big bunny. Yeah, he's kind of a far way away from home. Little fuzzy spike. Greenhorn, let's say. Elk. But what was I saying? So yeah, you have to really kiss a lot of ass to get ahead in this world. And Tim Pool is a prime example, right? I mean, this guy built his fortune off of, poking and prodding the left and, getting brownie points on the right every time he did, playing party politics. And, I replied on his little glowing tweets about Donald Trump after that interview. Man, the two-party system, controlled left-right paradigm really pays, don't it? Emoji, money signs. Anyway, yeah, and these platforms like X, man. I just got another. They call them a label. They stick on your account because I've got to post things over and over again. I'm not insane about it, but I'll point the same. I'll post the same point, maybe with a different picture at times to try to stress the same point. I'll repost my videos, just to try to actually get some views. And they might consider that spamming. So it's not like they ever gave me any interaction anyway with other users. So this isn't the first time I've gotten a label slapped on my X or previously Twitter account. And so for a free speech platform, it's pretty obvious that if you toe the party line, if you're a good little bootlicker, if you repeat after me, after everything the establishment and the corporate media tells you to think, if you're a good little Republican or a good little liberal, you get ahead and you get plenty of interaction. Trust me, I see this all the time. I see this with people with less followers than I have. I have over 2,000 followers on X now after probably like 20, 30,000 tweets. It's an insane amount of tweets, guys, okay? So it's not like I'm not trying. But, yeah, I've seen people with like half of my followers get 10x, 20x views and likes. So, I mean, come on. It's obvious, right? It's obvious I'm on the SHIT list. It's obvious that I'm shadow banned on every single platform that I go on. On average, with 2,000 plus followers, you'd think if somebody follows you, right, they want to see what you have to say now and then, right? But on X, with over 2,000 followers, on average now, on a unique post, not something I'm just retweeting or borrowing from somebody else, not just a video that I've stole from somebody else. This is unique content that I actually put some thought into, right? And you'd think that they would appreciate that, but on average I get, lately anyway, maybe 30, 40 views or impressions, whatever they want to call them, on that garbage platform, out of 2,000 plus followers. 20 to 30 impressions. Yeah, so it's to say the least. If I sound a little frustrated, I am frustrated. It doesn't matter which platform I go on, where I try to post my content, how much time I pour into my videos, my memes, whatever. They're not getting seen by anybody, basically. So just ask yourself, what is Elon Musk's X? What is, CIA, Google's, YouTube? What are all these different, Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook, what are all these different platforms so freaking afraid of, right? If I was some idiot, right, that didn't have a chance in hell of gaining any support or popularity on their platforms, you think they just, let the nature take its course, right? Not that any of these companies, truly believe in free market capitalism, but in free market capitalism, if you produce a bad product, it's going to fail and go away eventually over time, right? But no, we have to control the narrative, don't we? We have to promote, what's this guy's name? Like Benny Johnson or whatever the heck his name is. ALX or whatever this guy, he thinks he's like Superman, he thinks he's like some kind of superhero. I see these guys all the time popping up in my feed, and I'm not even following these guys. I don't care about your daily Trump worship, dudes, all right? We get it. We freaking get it, man. You'd wipe Trump's ass with your own tongue if you're given the opportunity, all right? We understand, guys, okay? We freaking get it by now, all right? You're mental. You're sipping way too much freaking Kool-Aid. You worship the MAGA Messiah, and you're heavily, like, too far gone in this, I guess, World War III Doomsday cults now, because every time Trump speaks, he says, it's going to be World War III if you don't vote for me.
Now the fear is World War III.
Yeah.
What are you looking at when you enter your next term to stopping the escalation?
Well, first of all, I'm the only one that is going to stop World War III.
That's my sleazy used car salesman version of Trump. It's going to be World War III if you don't vote for me, guys. It's a one-time deal. Take it or leave it. It's going fast. Limited quantity. Limited supply. And we have Alex Jones going completely unhinged. Triggered. I don't know what's the highest state of being triggered, but that's where he's at. And it's over. I think he's still fuming over this. How dare these libertarians boo a MAGA king, the MAGA Messiah, apparently, because he's going to save us all, guys, from World War III, from the globalists, from apparently not from Big Pharma. He's not going to save us. He's not going to go that far, okay? Or lockdowns, or the WHO/UN, because he followed their mandates by declaring a national state of emergency falsely over a completely contrived threat, let's just say. Because we're on YouTube, I remember I have to remind myself, guys, still on YouTube somehow after all these years. Not even 2,000 followers or subscribers yet. It's pretty sad, but anyway, Yeah, we're up here in Estes. Look at this beautiful view, guys. Isn't it lovely? Isn't it beautiful? Boss thinks so. He's getting a little hot because I got that window closed still. I'm trying to keep it kosher for the audio in here. Yeah, I mean, aren't you just... What is it going to take to get the American people... Yeah, you see some more elk, don't you, boy? Just to get the American people to the point where we've had enough being lied to. I mean, come on, guys. I've seen this my whole lifetime. I've seen politicians come and go, promising us the moon, you know, and all we get is a bunch of moon dust, right, from the Apollo mission. Some of that moon dust they took back to Earth. I think they probably lost most of that, didn't they? If not all of it. But I mean, how many times do we have to be suckers until we've just had enough being suckered? That's all I'm asking, guys. I'm sick of it. I know a lot of other people are too. But people just, they still don't seem to see through a guy like Donald Trump. After everything he gave us over the 4 years that he was in office. And everybody got all excited because he said he was going to, pardon this Ulbricht guy or whatever the heck. He said he'd think, I think it was on Timcast, he said, I never did watch his speech afterwards. He said he was going to talk about that in his speech, but he can't talk about it right now. Pardoning Julian Assange. Well, he had his opportunity, guys, and he was pushed over and over again by people to pardon Assange, and he never did. So, whoa. Okay, dropped to Chuler, bud. Once again, driving through lovely Lake Estes with the dog Bozzy. Such a photogenic pooch, isn't he? Yeah, it's a beautiful day today. Just like a smattering of rain, as you can see. Boz is hogging all the attention, of course. Yeah, so Trump had his 4 years in office, guys, to demonstrate time and time again how he was not an anti-establishment candidate, despite all the, boastful rhetoric, right? But now we have all this street cred built up from all these continual trials, these show trials, by all these evil, leftist DAs or, whatever, lawyers that are going after him. And, like I've called it from the start. Trump, trust me, guys, it's okay. Calm down, MAGAs. Trump will never see any jail time. They might give him a little slap on the wrist, but trust me, he's got enough money coming in from his supporters, donations, to pay for all of his legal fees easily, okay? I mean, even Melania is selling little trinkets and necklaces and stuff for money on the side. I mean, these guys are, the Trump family is pretty interesting. Classic. What's this person behind me? Give me a second. Yeah, so this Ross Ulbricht guy, he's kind of a hero to the libertarians, created the Silk Road. As he put it, all he wanted to do was to create a place where people could buy and sell whatever they want freely, as long as it didn't hurt anybody, right? That's a kind of a libertarian principle. And this guy, I think he was tossed in prison back in 2015, serving a life sentence. Yeah. And it's a great example of how messed up our system is, our judicial system is, really. When we have people like Sam Bankman-Fried, who's going to be freed shortly, after scamming hundreds and hundreds of people out of millions and millions of dollars, right? His little Ponzi scheme. So anyway, of course, Trump was, tailoring his message to a libertarian audience, and everybody on the right went wild, it seems, when Trump made the promise to free Ross Ulbricht. Well, funny thing is, RFK Jr. said pretty much the same thing. about a year ago. I think it was in May of 2023. And I never even heard of it, right? He said the same thing, and all RFK Jr. got was crickets.
And if you vote for me on day one, I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht to a sentence of time served.
I will carefully consider whether individuals like Ross Ulbricht were prosecuted. Consider whether they were prosecuted for actual crimes or as a means to crack down on crypto. If they had been unjustly made an example, I will consider pardoning them, and I will act very quickly to do so.
So, I mean, it's just everything with these rose-colored glasses, right? Everything Trump says is just, it's like handed down from God, basically. But you guys aren't in a cult, right? Yeah, MAGA's not a cult. And you know, Trump will say things like, I just saw today, like praising Mike Johnson for being a good patriot, putting America first. Yeah, the guy who rushed through FISA, completely destroying the Fourth Amendment by allowing the government to continue spying on the American people, and also pushed Republicans into funding more foreign wars, you know, more foreign aid packages to Israel and Ukraine. If that's Trump's definition of a patriot and an American firster, right? More like American fisters, think about it. That's pretty bad. I mean, just keep that in mind every time Trump calls somebody a patriot. I mean, if Mike Johnson can qualify as Speaker of the House, much hated Mike Johnson, I don't. Who else could qualify? Yeah, it's kind of a big deal how you define things, really. When we're talking about a certain topic, sometimes people could be talking about completely different worlds, right? On a completely different page. And so I don't know what to tell the MAGAs out there, guys. We're gonna get another 4 years of Trump. It's okay. Calm down. Don't be afraid of Biden. He's not scary. He's a sure loser. You know, they always are. The two-party left-right political paradigm doesn't care. You know, if either of their party candidates make it into the White House, it's a win. It's a win for both, because if their guy is in there, then they're in there. If the opposing party guy is in there, then he'll do his best at generating a bunch of hype, hoopla, fear, anger towards the other party, which will just continue to feed both sides' party resentment. And like I said, it's a duopoly at this point, guys. They don't care. You think these people in positions of power really give a damn if there's an R or a D in front of their name? I think that's what really motivates these people, gets them up in the morning. It is politics to the lowest of the lowest common denominator. It is politics for the lowest IQ at this point. And if you still are buying into it, if you still are holding out hope, if you still cling to the belief that by voting for A or B candidate every 4 years is going to change anything, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're kind of lost. You're a lost cause. And that, unfortunately, is the majority of the voting population. I mean, like RFK Jr. says it, you know, I think it's like 30 to 40%, I think it's 40 of the American population identify as independent, probably because they've had enough of the crap, the two-party, you know, circus. A couple of clowns juggling balls back and forth, right? And so, yeah, shouldn't we, in this America, the land of the free, coming off of Memorial Day, shouldn't we have the option to at least hear, you know, for those 2 short little debates prior to voting for our next president, shouldn't we at least be able to hear from a viable third-party candidate in those two short, zero audience? I guess you're not supposed to have an audience now in the debates because that's too dangerous, right? Land of the free, have a live audience. You're gonna have like a AI audience pretty soon here, just like dubbed over applause. And I mean, this is how real the political reality show has become. This is how free we are in the land of the free, guys. Oh my God. It's sad because I've seen everything, I've read the history of this great nation and some of the great men and women who used to comprise this great nation, and such lofty ideals and such great ideals, right? Like if the whole world could abide by the rules within our Constitution, right? Just think of what a wonderful world it would be if they actually kept. And America doesn't even keep, right? We got Mike Johnson, the patriot American fister, who, pushed FISA. Just completely shredding our constitutional rights and promoted funding more foreign wars, getting all of us in more debt. And it's just, I'm so sick of these swamp scum masquerading as American patriots. And Trump is the prime example. You're not a patriot if you're not a MAGA anymore, right, guys? You're no longer a patriot if you're not MAGA, because MAGA is patriot. Libertarian bad. They boo MAGA. They boo the MAGA Messiah. Now all libertarians are bad. Now blowhards like Alex Jones are going to wage war on RFK Jr. and libertarians because they boo MAGA King.
Because all he's going to do is suck votes from Trump. He admits he funded people to attack Trump at that event. And so I reported on him taking the nomination virtually. That is a fact. But because you guys want to defend RFK, full war, guaranteed, all week long, get ready. Clips of him saying arrest people that disagree with climate change up your rear end. Get ready for it. I'm sick of the libertarians. I'm sick of everybody on the fence. I'm sick of people bleeding votes away from Republicans when Republicans are the best house in a bad neighborhood and Trump is giving the New World Order a run for their money. So I pledge to you, total attack on RFK Jr. starting tomorrow. You got what you want. You're getting it now. With your plastic chickens and your dumbass libertarians and all the rest of them. Burn in frickin' hell.
Oh my God. I mean, I think there's so much like chemical castration. Well, not only castration, but lobotomy, right? People have been chemically lobotomized. Their thinking, their attention spans, just their reasoning capabilities. I think everybody is suffering from some degree of brain damage. It's as simple as that. Look at this view, though. It's beautiful. Here, let me at least clear the window for you. There you go. Those mountains, the rain coming down. And it's good to see some rain, hear some rain, smell some rain. Maybe get out and feel the rain even. Isn't that beautiful? I love this section of the highway. I'll pull out my drone after sometime, do a little flight. Be a good spot for it. Yeah, it's beautiful. This land was made for you and me. Right, guys? I can sit here and complain over and over again in video after video. I'll lose more and more subscribers for daring to question, right? Like those handful of libertarians in the audience during the Donald Trump speech when he tried to pitch himself as one of them. I could be one of those guys, but you know what? Ultimately, it's like, what do we have control over? We don't have any control. I'm sorry to break it to you. We have no control over Washington politics, over national politics. On a local level, yeah, we have some, if we could just get organized. If all the good guys were as organized as all the evil in the world, right? Man, wouldn't that be crazy? But you have to be really led by the Holy Spirit. You have to be in God's Word. You have to be following God's will, as I understand it, in order to be a good guy. So a lot of people can get caught up in what appears on the surface level as a good cause, right? But ultimately, you're getting deceived again. You're heading down the wrong path. The devil is always going to package something in one of two forms: blatantly evil, or under the guise of something good, right? Like the fruit on the tree looked wholesome, good to eat, right? Looked healthy, right? Looked organic, just right off the Whole Foods shelves, right? But like the Apple emblem. Yeah, Steve Jobs. Did you know that? I think I mentioned this before, but in case you already forgot, Steve Jobs, of course, the founder of Apple, with a little emblem of the apple with a bite out of it. He ended up, he's got a daughter, and his daughter's name is Eve. Kind of makes you wonder, like, when Steve Jobs got that horrific cancer, his time was kind of up on some level, God just kind of said, yep, your time is up. And I pray every day. I try to anyway. Try to remember to pray every day. My time isn't up, right? Like that rancher out in the plains in Rand trying to feed his cattle just gets randomly struck by lightning. I mean, and you don't know why. There's some random. I don't think that everything can be explained, right? As obviously, right, like an act of God. Like they always try to paint these natural disasters, right? No, it's not God that delights in the destruction of the wicked, like it says. But this world is not paradise. There's a lot of random, crazy things that happen in this life. Sometimes to good people, and the thing that gives me some solace is that God will make all things right one day. And if those people, try to live up to what light God had given them, and by living up to, they practice what they preached, they, treated their not only their neighbors, but also their enemies as Christ would have, right? Not easy task. But yeah, someday they will face the resurrection and the final judgments. And if God says you're a good person, you'll be let back into the kingdom. And that's really ultimately all we have to look forward to, guys, in this life. You can enjoy it while it lasts, sure. A lot of people do. A lot of people live like this is it. But man, it's just such a shallow view of the world, in my opinion. And talk about how pointless would life really be if this was it. You just lived your life, had as much fun as you could while you're alive, and then you die, and that's it. You never have another conscious thought ever again. You just blot it out of existence. Yeah. I see a rainbow right now. See that rainbow? Yeah, it's just over that mountain. There's a pot of gold. A little leprechaun. Funny thing is, with all of these quote-unquote conservative Christians who want to do things like ban rainbows from schools. Rainbow is actually supposed to be a good thing, right? In the book of Genesis, it's the promise that God will never destroy the world again with a flood. It's the first time a rainbow is brought up in the scriptures. What are you doing? You thirsty? He's trying to catch the rain in his mouth. Crazy doggy. Again, let me show you this rainbow. The it'll show up on the camera. Just disappeared. Anyway, there's Boz. He's having fun. He's like watching a movie, huh, Boz? He'll sit there and he'll watch the TV, especially if it's of course, like a nature show. Like the other day, they had like some snow bunnies, all white, running around playing with each other, and he loved watching that. He loves those bunnies. Such a good boy. You need some water, don't you, buddy? I'm gonna have to give this dog some water, I think. You got dry mouth? You got dry mouth, Boz? Yeah. Here, I'll let you get your head out a little further. Capture some rain. How about that? There you go. There you go. Awesome, boy. Anyway, it's good to get rain. Yeah, what can we do? You can vote locally, still have some power. But more so if you get organized. And unfortunately, it's usually the enemies of God who are the most organized, right? And of course, led by the corporate clowns in the media. And social media lately, I mean, it's such a huge influence on kids. How easy is it to manipulate kids, right? You wonder why every Disney movie tells their kids, oh, just ignore what your parents have to say, right? Just follow your heart. Yeah. Kids are easily exploitable, and we need to protect the kids. Yeah, on a local level, you can do some voting. You can run for office if you're so inclined. I don't think I am, by the way, but yeah, it seems like you have to be such a BS or be a public, public figure that asks for for people's votes. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't seem like it would fit. But other than that, just get your house in order, right? As much as you can. I know I'm working on that still myself. But yeah, try to get as independent as you can off of this beast system. That's what I always tell people. And it's a lot of work. You gotta try to figure out how to start growing your own food if you're not already. That's what we're trying to do. Still, every summer is another learning experience. And we just had like 2 flats of squash, big, beautiful seedlings or baby plants. And we made the mistake of leaving them out on the porch one night, and apparently we're still getting freezing temperatures. So we lost half of those 2 flats of squash. So it's over a dozen plants just after 2 months of growing. And watering every other day and paying for the electric for a grow light hanging over them, heater, whatever else. It's pretty frustrating, but it's one of those character building experiences, guys. That's how you got to look at it. You don't look at everything, every shortcoming in life as a character building moment. Trust me, you'll just go insane. And it's a fine line, guys. It's a fine line between lessons learned and just going full Joker. Don't give a damn anymore. Anyway, I gotta wrap this up because I've been talking so long. But just do what you can do within what's within your own power. Nothing else. Sit down with like a pen and pad. I was gonna say pen and paper, and just write out what you can change for the better in your life to start with today, right? What can you change for the betterment of your own life? Instead of looking to these false messiahs, these political messiahs in Washington to make everything great again, right? What can we do on a personal level to make our lives great again? And I think that always starts with, as a Christian, asking God, right? Pray over it. If you haven't lately, pick up the Bible, read a few verses, Ask God what his will is for your life and where he wants to take you at this key moment in human history. Or it just seems like any week now, right? Any day now. It can all go to hell and it's not coming back, right? And things are going to get real tough. Times are going to get real tough. And if you ultimately believe in Bible prophecy, it'll one day come down to the mark of the beast and who you worship. And so ask God to lead you to find a place where you can be more self-sufficient or God-sufficient. But yeah, just less and less tied to this beast system, this digital prison grid that, quote-unquote patriots, once again, like Elon Musk, are happily building around the world with his SpaceX Starlink swarm of satellites around the whole planet. Because it's loving, guys. To take all those little primitives and all these other different countries that, God forbid, aren't banked. It's the loving way to get everybody banked.
Well, as I mentioned, we're really we're focusing this event on Starlink and the benefits that high bandwidth connectivity can bring to remote islands and to remote communities. I think it's really important to emphasize the importance of internet connectivity and how much of a life changer that can be and a lifesaver that can be. As I mentioned, when you have access to the internet, you can learn anything. All the MIT lectures are online. You can literally learn the things that people are learning at MIT or at some some university. You can learn anything if you're connected to the internet, but if you're not connected, it's very difficult to learn. And then if you have some goods or services that you wish to sell to the world, even if you're in a remote village, you can now do so with an internet connection. So it can bring a lot of prosperity, I think, to rural communities.
And to get them all on digital currency, of course, which fits into Elon Musk's plans for X as the everything app, and just total control over our lives, basically. Because if you think X is free now, when a guy like me gets constantly slapped labels on me for God knows what reason, what kind of labels are they going to slap on your bank account when you don't say the right things, right? When you question the lies, the accepted narrative that the hapless, low IQ majority fully subscribe to, fully believe in. Anyway, just some thoughts. I know I got a lot of randomness today, but it's a long drive. I had to go all the way up to Estes. The stupid water station isn't working. It's out of service. So now I'm driving all the way back down to Loveland to get water. Something not exactly as planned. So I had a lot of time to talk. Appreciate everybody who's got the patience to sit through all these little rants from the road. If there's ever a topic that you want me to touch on other than, what bubbling up in my own head, just let me know. Finally Boz sat down, so I get a little silence. Sorry for all that noise. I'm using the camera once again, vertically, as you can tell. I just prefer the vertical video format, especially with this view, right? Like constantly driving through these mountains. Beautiful Rocky Mountains of Colorado. Thanks everybody for being there for the Night Watch. All those few the proud, the Night Watchers out there who show up for my shows. And again, just if you could, leave comments, leave likes. You could buy me coffee. In any case, I appreciate everybody who stuck it out and who keeps coming back. Because like I said, on every platform, I'm pretty much heavily shadow banned right now. And it doesn't matter what I put out there. It's just not going to get the kind of engagement that I know it should, and it's a little frustrating. That's why if you could pick up on that today, just a little bit more on edge than usual today. Anyway, God bless everybody. Nightwatch N8 once again. I appreciate everybody out there once again. Until next time, like I said, get right with God. Ask God where to lead. Where He wants to take you in these these end times, because I do believe, despite all the psyops, despite all the fear mongering out there over World War III and going nuclear and the next pandemic, and I could just go on and on and on, despite all the constant, daily dose of doom, I do believe that we are in Earth's final hour, if not Earth's final minutes. And it's time to get right with God, in my opinion. Because there's no better time than now. You don't know how short your life is. You don't know when it's going to be cut short. And with the way I am, filming myself while I drive, you never know. I pray that God protects me, and I pray you pray the same. Give us all as long and healthy and happy as lives as possible, dear Heavenly Father, and just steer us all down the right path so that we're in a decent position, knowing what we know, knowing the times in which we're living. Put us down the right path to where, compared to the hundreds and thousands that fall on our left and our right from God knows what plague, hopefully we'll be in a better position than the heathen, let's say, because we stuck true to God's word, and we kept the faith. And ultimately, meek shall inherit the earth, the Bible says. God bless everybody. Once again, this is Nightwatch N8. Thanks for listening. I know it's been a long one. I'm sorry about that. It's probably almost an hour by now. I'll try to do as much editing as possible, but cut it down. But God bless everybody out there. Nightwatch N8.